Tennessee honey, my favorite incarnation of the Jack Daniels family. I don't know about you guys. Delicious. Tastes like pancakes with syrup. It is just fine. We'll leave this here for right now. We got a lot to get to here tonight on the eve of the Patriots' first game of the playoffs, the one-game season here as it is. And, well, I got to say, as far as Patriots playoff games go, guys, we've seen this over the years. Not a lot of buzz here. Not a ton of buzz about this game. Not a lot of fear of the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry, and the rest of those guys. So I guess I ask you this. When we look at the matchups on the 11-on-11 here, the gridiron matchups, Jamal, I know you love to talk about this. Sam, I know you do too. We have what seems like a very one-sided affair. We have what seems like a game that the Patriots will breeze through. Is there any reason why either one of you think that won't happen tomorrow night?
You like me to start?
I would like you to start, Sam,
right,
since you spoke first.
No problem.
Jamal was put off by the question for some reason.
The question is there any way that the Titans can beat the Patriots?
Can they make it a game even?
Yeah. I mean, miracles happen any given Sunday. You know all the expressions. They have to have 5 or 6 turnovers, I would say, in my opinion. Otherwise, I don't see any chance in hell that they win this game. As your boy would say, Dan Shaughnessy, it's a tomato can game.
Right.
That's really what it is.
And he says that a lot.
And he says it a lot. Maybe too much. But it's a double bye is what it really is. It's the Tennessee Titans. They don't go to the playoffs often. This is Marcus Mariota's second playoff game in his career. Tom Brady has 35 under his belt. He's 24 years old. And he hasn't had a good year. He has a big name. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Let's not forget that. But he's also thrown 15 picks, 13 touchdowns and 15 interceptions this year. That's not a great season. And when you think about the weapons that Tennessee Titans have, we were going to play a game earlier. Name all the weapons on the Tennessee Titans. Name all the players. We couldn't get past 6 or 7. He can't. Who's he going to throw touchdowns to? You have Delaney Walker. He's a great tight end. But besides that, you don't have a DeMarco Murray. You have a Derrick Henry, who's a beast, don't get me wrong, but what does Bill Belichick always do? He takes away your best weapon. This is a guy, Marcus Mariota, who had to throw a touchdown pass to himself last week. That's how many weapons they have on the outside.
It was the play of the game, too.
It was the play of the game, don't get me wrong. It was a very athletic play, and the Tennessee Titans came back from a deficit against the Chiefs. They were big underdogs. But guess what? They're coming in Gillette, the defending Super Bowl champions. A miracle really has to happen. I would be shocked if they came out of this with a loss.
Well, this is the team that accomplished a miracle that comeback win, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago with Kevin Dyson. But the Patriots should win. I think the only way that the Titans do manage to upset the Patriots is a couple of things. First of all, they got to take care of the ball. They got to make sure Tom Brady stays on the sidelines. That's going to require a lot of carries from their stud running back. Also, I think special teams. You're going to have to create a couple of turnovers and maybe even take a punt or kickoff return back. And I know Kevin Byard made headlines early this week, as he should, going up against Tom Brady. He wasn't shy about making that his objective this week is trying to make him look like Blake Bortles, who's been disrespected from both his peers and the public because of his poor play and inconsistent performance all year. But I think that Mariota is going to have to take a page out of his young protege from Alabama, that guy Tua, who was a freshman who came back and his performance propelled Alabama.
That kid was awesome.
He was.
I love him. Awesome. Watching him, he was throwing darts out there. He's a lefty. I love lefty quarterbacks.
Yeah. I think it's going to take a lot. Long story short, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of praying. Everybody's going to get on their knees and pray. But it's just going to take Belichick having an off day, the Patriots having an off day, Tom Brady and the likes like that. But I think Belichick and the Brady and folks are very motivated, and a lot of the moon, star, sun, the sea, the grass, everything has to be aligned on for this.
I mean, if we're going to look at two things, I mean, there are a couple concerns. One is Tennessee does have a very strong front seven. They can get to the quarterback, and they have a Dick LeBeau defense. And
Bill Belichick's had a lot of trouble with Dick LeBeau defenses over the years.
That's true.
He destroys Dick LeBeau defense.
But one thing about the Dick LeBeau defense is that he does play man-to-man, and the Patriots historically I've always had trouble with man-to-man defenses. Excuse me, I've had a cold for 12 weeks.
I'll play through it, Sally.
I'm fighting. But the other thing is that, they also, they have a quarterback who likes to run, who can get out of the pocket. Marcus Mariota. The Patriots in their history have not had good success against those kind of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks that get out of the pocket and they run for, 15 yards here, 10 yards there. Belichick will find a way. He'll find a way to solve that issue.
They have a problem against good quarterbacks like that. They have problems with your Cam Newtons of the world and your Aaron Rodgers of the world. They don't have problems with Tyrod Taylor, and they're not going to have problems with Marcus Mariota. I don't think that's really going to make a difference. I think the defense is probably the main thing there. You're right about their front seven. They're good, and they can get to the quarterback. And I think the Patriots' offensive line might be one of their weaker features right now, along with their own front seven, too. But I don't think that the Titans have the strength, stamina, anything to be able to go up against New England's O-line, against Brady, any of it. I just don't think they'll be able to exploit those weaknesses or perceived weaknesses.
Well, Darrell Casey, he's a 7-year vet. He's very disruptive on the front line. I think that if he can manage to penetrate in the A-gap, which is the poison pill for Tom Brady, I think that's the only way. And again, a lot's got to happen, but I agree with you. But he's one guy that could be disruptive.
You mentioned Baird, the guy who said, I want to make Brady look like Blake Bortles. Doesn't that give you all you need to know about the AFC and the playoffs right now? Blake Bortles is playing on Sunday. He's playing in the playoffs. He is one of the final quarterbacks to still be playing in this league. And he's sort of like the barometer of what we want Tom Brady to look like in terms of how bad we want him to look. I mean, we all watch these games, these wild card games. That Buffalo-Jacksonville game was like going to the freaking dentist. And, even the other one, it was a good comeback, but it wasn't a good football game. The more I watch these teams and it just feels like they have no chance. It's a two-team race. It's the Patriots and the Steelers. Only, I think we can agree, an act of God would prevent that from being the AFC Championship game. So I guess I ask you this. If the Patriots, if something bad were to happen, and first, before I say this, Brady gets hurt, something happens along those lines.
Did you just cross yourself?
I did.
I just want to make
before saying Brady gets hurt.
I love that.
And the Titans somehow pull this game off. Will it be the worst loss in the Belichick-Brady era?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be top two. I mean,
there with the Jets, right?
Right there with the Jets, and there was one other divisional round. I think it was the Ravens.
Yes, I was at that game, in the Ray Rice game.
Ray Rice game, and he just ran off. Remember the first play of the game?
First play of scrimmage.
He ran like 65, 70 yards.
80 yards.
80 yards for a touchdown, and the game was done after that. And the Jets came in. I remember Rex Ryan running up and down the sidelines with his, laughing and screaming and raising his hands. And I was crying the whole time, and it was depressing. But, I think this is going to be one of the top 3 worst losses of all time. But again, I don't see that happening. I really don't.
It really would take a lot. Yeah.
It would take a lot.
I think it just will breathe bigger air into the whole whispers and gossip of Belichick and Brady. This being their last season. I think that's what it is. I think over time it just will be another loss. But I think that's, if anything, if they do end up losing tomorrow night, which they should win, I think it just would redirect everything towards the article from ESPN and about the illusion or implosion internally with Belichick and Kraft and Tom Brady. I think that's probably what the headlines will read Sunday morning. Well, since you brought it up, let's get into it. The Seth Wickersham story is about a week old, right? I mean, we're talking over a week ago that it was put out. Maybe it was a week ago today. Regardless, a lot was sort of put out there. There was a lot of, I don't want to say accusations that were made, but there were certainly a lot of things that were said about Brady, about Belichick, about Jimmy Garoppolo, about Alex Guerrero, about Robert Kraft. I mean, this thing was pretty all-encompassing. Wickersham is a guy who was an investigative reporter with ESPN. I trust that he has sources. I trust that he didn't just pull this stuff out of thin air and make up a bunch of stories. But the Patriots have gone on record now and tried to dispute a lot of the things that he said. So I ask you guys, with a week to sort of look at it and to digest all of the things that Wickersham alleged happened here and that may happen at the end of the season, going into next season, with Belichick maybe going to the Giants or whatever the hell we're talking about here, do you feel the same as you did when you first read it? And what was your reaction when you first read it? Did you believe it? Do you still believe it now? Where do you stand with the Wickersham article? I believe it. I don't believe it in its entirety, but I think, as the old cliche says, when there's smoke, there is fire. I think even you're the one who kind of brought it to my attention initially. But if you really just think about it, the overall view, Bill Belichick is the guy that's running that building. And there's standard protocols, just like in any company, any business, just like any football team. If a player gets hurt, they have a team physician, a group of physical therapists, medical staff, and so on. Standard protocol, player gets hurt, he goes sees the team doctor, the team physician. I think the thing that's a little bit different is Tom Brady and his new, what's his called?
Alex Guerrero.
Tom Brady, that's who he goes to.
One half of the TB12 method, yeah.
Right, so if Tom Brady gets hurt, he sees Alex. So if you really think about it, most of the players are 10 years his junior, and they look at him as Tom Brady, just like any man or woman walking the streets of Boston. If you see Tom Brady, you're in awe. You're going to spaz out, oh, my God, it's Tom Brady. So if you get hurt and you're a player, you go to Tom Brady, Brady's natural inclination is going to tell you, hey, go see Alex. And that's going to be ruffle some feathers, within the organization, because the standard protocols, typically you see the team doctor, which i.e. Bill Belichick oversees and directs.
And hired them, by the way.
And hires them, right. So if I could create a scenario why this is a conflict of interest, TB12 is located inside the building. So already, this guy Alex Carrera, whatever his name is, he's walking around like he's the big homie, like he's one of the authorities. And that may be true when isolated just between him and Tom, but I know Gronk is seeing him, and then it opens
half
up.
The team.
Yeah, half the team. I was gonna say it opens up to half the team seeing him as well. So again, like I said initially, the standard protocols: a player gets hurt, and then they go see the team physician. It's gonna create a conflict of interest because now the younger players who idolize Tom Brady, who always goes to Alex, now if they go get hurt, they're not gonna just go to the team physicians. They're gonna go see Alec, which is gonna create a lot of tension and confusion within the organization. That's something that Bill Belichick is very diligent about, being very organized and making sure things are simple and plain and clear, so order and organization can be demonstrated.
So you buy it. You buy the story. You think
I buy it. Not in its entirety, but I think there's some validity to it.
Yeah. You can imagine that in that environment. You can imagine.
Oh, no question. This is 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
And just lastly as well, I think that if I could do conspiracy theories, I think there is credence or
absolutely zero threat, which to me again is another conspiracy theory. Is Brian Hoyer really the guy who's gonna threaten Tom Brady? No.
Well, at that point they needed someone.
Right.
At that point, they needed a backup.
Exactly.
Right. Both of them are gone. It can't just be Brady and the punter.
Right, but we're talking about the future here.
Right, but when they went with Hoyer, it was because, okay, well, we're trading you Jimmy Garoppolo. You got to give us your other quarterback.
But to respond to your comment about trading within the conference to Cleveland, do you really think that they were afraid of that? Because
hell no.
Well, you said you don't want to trade him to the Browns. The Browns are so far away in so many different areas that by the time Bill Belichick is retired, the Cleveland Browns may be in the playoffs. I mean, it's been that long since they've been a winner. But, I'm just so sick of hearing Jimmy Garoppolo's name, and I feel like it's going to get worse as the years go by, as the 49ers get better and better, and they get more pieces, and he gets weapons, and he becomes the second coming of Tom Brady. Oh, my God. Yeah. New England's going to fall apart. And we got to appreciate what we have here. I mean, it's not going to last much longer, guys.
Yeah, but I think also it goes back to that article. I don't know if it was included or not, but this is just my theory. The fact that he was shipped off so quickly, begrudgingly of Bill Belichick, and the fact that he didn't want any threat. He didn't want any competition. This is supposed to be Tom Brady, almighty, the omnipotent, the God walking on water guy. You know what I mean?
Spirit of the warrior.
The spirit of the warrior, right.
Oh,
the untouchable, the Teflon Don and everything like that. But you're scared to have somebody in the building that could potentially compete or take your spot. So I think that breeds credence, because internally, if you got to think, if I'm Bill Belichick, I got to deal with Alex causing confusion with my players. then the whole point of the trade is because of the declaration that Tom Brady did early in the season, talking about he's going to play till he's 45 years old.
At least.
Right. So
him.
I think the trade makes sense, and the whispers amount to silence if he can continue to be Tom Brady for years to come and time to find a replacement. If not, I think that the legend of Jimmy G is going to grow infinitely. And, oh, by the way, this is a fun fact that I found out this past week. So during the Indianapolis, college, the scouting.
At the combine.
The combine, right. Boom, thank you. At the combine.
You should know what the combine is.
I know, I was in there. I was one of the contestants.
I
was one of the contestants. I was
in the combine.
4.340.
I don't believe that, by the way. He says you ran a 4.340.
Hey, look it
like
up.
the body of a man who ever ran a 4.340.
Yeah, 4.38, 4.41 twice. Juice. 4.38 once. But anyway, at the combine, the Atlanta Falcons.
I race you to the bathroom right now. I beat you.
I'll kill you. But no, the Atlanta Falcons, the current head coach of San Francisco, and a former offensive coordinator.
No, he's a GM.
Shanahan.
Yeah, right.
At the combine, he met privately with Bill Belichick for hours because his father, Mike Shanahan, former Broncos genius, he set it up. And I don't think it's a coincidence. 3-4 months down the road, he shipped him to San Francisco, Jimmy G, to help him out. So I think there might be a connection there. I can't confirm it, but I thought that was a fun fact. It was an aha moment for me this week.
All right. Before we move on to our final thoughts here, and we will get to them in just a second, will Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and let's for fun throw in Robert Kraft like he's going to sell the team, will those three be all back together in the year 2018 to 2019 for the New England Patriots? Will that be the triumvirate of power here next season? Because one of Wickersham's big things was how everybody around Gillette and everybody in Foxborough was all saying, this is it. This is the last year. This is the last we're going to see of these three guys, Kraft, Belichick, and Brady together. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. I mean, there's rumors that Belichick's going to the Giants. I don't see it happening.
I don't know if it's rumors more than just maybe the Giants and their fans and media all hoping so.
Right, and again, he has...
Really?
He also has New York Giants connections. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I see 3 more years. I see 3. Brady, Belichick, Kraft. They don't have another option right now. They're not going to put Brian Hoyer in at quarterback, and they sure as hell are not going to draft one of these guys and put him into the fire with all these weapons that they have in the offseason.
They can sign Kirk Cousins. I mean, they can do there's other ways you can go.
Brady they made a point to trade Garoppolo because Tom Brady has a few years left. They feel that, they know that, they think that, barring a catastrophic injury, he's going to play at least another year. My guess is 3.
I don't think there's no truth to that, the breaking up of the big 3. Okay. Bill Belichick, I just love him, first of all. And it's kind of like when you was growing up and you left the house and it's clean. You come back and it's clean.
Where is this going?
It's going like this. Want to see the segue? Watch the segue. Bill Belichick will not just abruptly leave a franchise unless the house is clean. Meaning that the quarterback's already in play, and there's a transition plan, even if he's not the guy to see it out. Because you got to also remember that Bill Belichick has his sons on staff who has aspirations of, following to the father's football. And what footsteps to follow in, by the way. That's a story for another day. But so I don't think that would be very uncharacteristic of Bill Belichick to just abruptly leave off a motion. He's very meticulous. He's very strategic. He's very methodical. And I just don't think that these are the footprints or imprints of somebody, or not even somebody, of the greatest coach to ever do it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm kind of with you guys. I don't think that this is the last year. I think next year is probably the last year.
Really?
Because Brady's going to turn 41. I don't think he's going to play until he's 45. If he does, I don't think it's going to be in New England. I think he'll eventually get old and not be as good as he was. It's happened to everybody, and it happens around 41, even with the best of all time. So, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, whoever you want to, George Blanda, all these guys, they hit 40, 41, and they can't play the position anymore. You can't play football anymore when you're 41 unless you're a freaking kicker, okay? Most people, I think, understand that. Jamal, you know that. How many 41-year-olds did you play with? Probably just one of the who are those brothers? Morton Anderson and the other Anderson.
Vinatieri's 46.
I don't even think they were actually brothers. Yeah, just kickers. That's it. That's the only ones who ever played on 40.
Grammatica.
And the Grammatica brothers too. Yeah. Right.
Mortensen was on the Falcons when I was there.
Mortensen was there. Right. Okay. See, I know. I think he's the all-time points leader, by the way, in the NFL.
Yeah, he might.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he
I know
was inducted into
Gostkowski
Hall
was
of
this
Fame.
One of the because of his kick. He kicked for 40 years. I mean, that's what's going to happen when you do that.
Yeah, I don't think Brady's going to stick around at 45 neither. I think he wants to, but I don't think physically. And I think Bill Belichick, if he was doing business as usual, there's a strong possibility that Brady would have been gone.
Maybe.
I think this.
It sounds like
he's
that's
doing
what
a lot of things that's very uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
If you think about the TB12, that's kind of at the forefront. Now we're hearing more about that. Before, when it was in season, it was all business, all football. But now we got to promote our business and make sure things are in play. He's being sensitive about other things.
We should do a whole show on TB12. We really should.
We could.
From the beginning of his days to the end of his career.
Like Keller at large, you know, people go undercover and
Yeah.
And lastly, too, Belichick never confirmed that he agrees with Tom Brady playing at 45. Mr. Kraft did. Tom Brady did. Of course, the media did.
Alex Guerrero did.
And Alex Guerrero did. Of course, he has to because that's how he stays in business.
That's his whole business model
exactly.
is that Brady does this.
We should talk about him another day,
We
too.
will. We'll do that next week, probably. All right, unless the Patriots lose, and then we'll be talking about that next week. Time for our final thoughts. My final thought is a pretty obvious one. You'll notice we talked this entire show about the Patriots and about the NFL. Why did we do that? I'll tell you why we did that. We did that because the freaking Celtics and Bruins have been MIA on a milk carton for like 2 weeks now.
Nice problem.
2 problems with this. Number one, why does the NHL have a bye week? You have an all-star break. You have the Olympic, you have all these. Why do teams need bye weeks in the NHL? That's insane. And the Celtics, I am sorry. I love that they're going to London. I think they should expand the NBA and basketball as far as you possibly can to all the corners of the earth. And that's a great thing. You do not need a week off prior to the game and then another week off after the game to go to freaking London. They're not going to Australia. They're not going to China. They're going to London. That's a 6-hour flight. That's like an hour longer than it takes to get to LA. It doesn't need an entire week and then another week off. This is killing me. It's killing me to have nothing to watch during the week. I hate it, and I wish that they would not do this. NHL, worse than the NBA, because the NBA, they're trying to, work through these, and they just sort of screwed that one up. The NHL, you need a bye week for teams? Why? It's hockey. Come on. It's not even close to the same thing. And with the Celtics, that was a great game, by the way, in London. They came back from, 22 down?
That's what they do.
And beat up on Philadelphia. That was cool. By the way, I wonder if the London crowd appreciated the irony of a team called the 76ers coming in and playing there, right? I mean, that was sort of, right in your face there. I enjoyed that. And I just don't like, the Celtics and the Bruins are both playing so well right now that I really am annoyed when you get a whole week when you don't see him at all, and that's sort of what we had here. We don't need this. NBA, if you're listening, and I hope you are, you don't need a week off before the game and then another week off after the game when the game is in London. Games in Australia, take as much time as you need. Games in Ukraine, fine. Games in Antarctica, okay. London's not that far. Let's get a grip on all of this, and let's get some Celtics games back. And that is my final thought. Gentlemen, take it away.
My final thought is on what we've been talking about all night, the NFL and the Patriots, more so the New England Patriots. I think that with the Wickersham article coming out this week, it really leads to a good time to talk about the fact that this is a perfect example of an era and a time where we need to sit back and realize and appreciate what we have here in New England. Every year, 6 straight AFC championships. Every year, 6 or 7 straight byes. I think it's 8 now this year, where every single season, this team is competing not only for a division title, but for a world championship. Do you know how many cities in America right now would kill just to be in the playoffs? For 17 or 18 years, Bob Kraft, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady have been the ones responsible for bringing the New England Patriots not only the playoffs, to the AFC Championship, and to so many Super Bowls. No other city in the world, in the country, can say that. Not the Steelers, not the Jaguars, not the Titans, not the Chiefs, none of them. So if you're sitting in Indianapolis right now, if you're sitting in Cleveland right now, if you're sitting in, God forbid, Miami right now, any of those cities where your teams don't make the playoffs on a regular basis, on an annual basis, I want to tell you that I'm sorry, and I feel for you. Our run is going to end, though. It's going to come to an end very, very soon, as we were just talking about. In the next 2 or 3 years, this glory of title after title after title, it's not going to be good. And in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, when Brady and Belichick are gone, we're going to be saying, oh, God, I hope we make the first round of the playoffs. Oh, God, I hope we make it so we can make sure that we're happy, that we have something to do. But every year every time of this year, when it rolls around, we know where we're going to be. We're going to be on our couches watching this team make another run at a Super Bowl. So thank you, guys. Thank you, BB&B, for making this a great run over the last 18 years. I hope it lasts 3 or 4 more. I really do.
I've never heard anyone say, God forbid you're in Miami before.
Well, for the sports aspect.
I get you, but it was just funny. Hey, Jamal, go ahead.
My final thoughts is the Oklahoma Thunder, the basketball team. My advice to Russell Westbrook, it's over. This experiment with Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, it's over. With respects to Carmelo Anthony, I haven't heard anything in the media with him saying anything about a commitment, anything about him buying in. If I'm Russell Simmons, I'm not Russell Simmons. Russell Westbrook.
You're Russell Simmons. You're in trouble right now.
He's good for the music.
Yeah.
But because the fat lady sung with the music, that's why I said Russell Simmons. But in all seriousness, with the All-Star Weekend approaching, my advice would be to get with the veteran guards, the Chris Pauls, even LeBron James, and start to try to see what is the DNA and acquire some more basketball IQ of how to finish and get more efficient in certain situational basketball plays, because I think that's what's troubling, and I think that's why he's kind of stagnant. He's definitely still one of the best guards in the league, most explosive player in the league without question, one of my favorite players. But I think that in order for him to go to the next level, he's going to have to humble himself, ask for help, be open to it so he can receive it. And I think that a new beginning can be fruitful for him in 2018, because I think that he might be a shooting star, if you would. There's no way he could sustain the level of energy and just anger and beyond the chip on his shoulder that he plays with, which I think is fueling him in a positive way for now. But I just think that it's time for him to take a page out of Kyrie Irving's and get mentorship like Kyrie Irving does with Kobe Bryant in order for him to go to the next level, because he has so much basketball left in him. And I'm a big fan of his, and I would like to see him be in these conference finals as well as the finals. And I think that him staying at OKC is the way to do it.
All right. I don't know about this year, but maybe sometime. All right. That's all the time we have here tonight. Want to say thanks to our friends here at the Greatest Bar. Thanks to Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, Jerry and the crew, everybody here down on Friend Street. I'm Christian Arcand. That's Jamal Burke, and that is Sam Berger. This has been Dirty Water Sports. We'll be back next Friday, and we'll talk to you then. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.